How's it going, Ms. I Speak Life? How are you doing today? What's going on, good people? This is the real deal versus how you feel. Half of the host. This is Twinsinc. Waiting for Ms. I Speak Live to get on the microphone. It says connecting. Hope everybody's having an awesome and wonderful day. It's Wednesday, hump day. We made it through the week. So hope all is well. My check.
Mic check, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on one second here. I can hear you, but I'm not hearing you through my system. 1 second. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. We're going to get this together here. Ms. I Speak Life, are you still there? I need you to talk so I can.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Mic check, mic check.
All right. Okay, just keep talking. I'll make sure I get this all synced up.
All right, I'll keep talking. You know I'm supposed to go live, and I forgot that to 4 o'clock. So I was already in front of the live. 3 o'clock, man, I forgot what before. So, kind of it, but yeah.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
So you ain't got it ready. And you know, you guys know it's portable. Hope you got your drink.
There we go.
You got it all synced up?
I'm good now.
All right, I'm going to go on mute for a second. It's kind of loud.
Okay. First off, big shout out for everyone who's tuned in today. This is the real deal versus how you feel. This is Twinsinc with Miss I Speak Life. And today we're gonna have a good, a little good, healthy dialogue conversation today. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Get that ready.
Let me know if my background's a little too loud. And they got like the little, little elevator music playing on me.
Hey, we'll make it
That's what I
happen.
call it, elevator music. All right.
Hey, we'll make
Are
it
we
happen.
3 minutes in? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yes, we are ready to go. So the topic today, ladies and gentlemen, is called Family Secrets, or just say it's a lie. I believe this conversation came from a last conversation that we had, the last show. And the last show that we did, it was, hold on 1 second here. What was that show? Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, pull it up here.
You said you trying to pull up the last show we did?
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The last show we did was how can we work out together if you don't work out? No, it didn't come from that one. It came from your brother's wife is your husband's new boo. That's where this conversation came from.
Yeah, that's from.
That's where we got it from. Correction, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies.
Twins, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah, that's where it came from. You're right.
Your brother. Mm-hmm. Are you currently traveling right now? Are you out and about?
Did you mean to do?
No, Ms. I Speak Live, or are you currently out and about?
Yeah, no, I'm sitting now.
Yeah, you cutting out. We're getting like every other word. It's like your connection is not so strong where you're at.
Yeah. Um. No, I got a connection. I feel like I'm hearing my echo and everything. Hear me?
You're
Oh,
cutting
I
in and out.
feel better. Hey, T, is
Yeah,
that better?
you have to say a little bit more
I think
to
it's my
confirm.
my earpods is dying. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone is able to let us know, are you able to hear me loud and clear, or is Ms. I Speak Live cutting in and out a little bit on your end as well? Let us know. Let us know.
All right. Do do have a weather advisory telling us we're gonna have a storm, so that always kind of jacks up here because I'm not in a technically I'm not in an urban urban. So our tower is a little
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the weather
weak.
here, the weather here in Atlanta is a little chilly. Well, I mean, it's a high of 68. Oh, I'm sorry. Right now it's a high of 59 today. Technically, still if it's 50 degrees, I can go outside and run or on my bike, so I'm good with that. But it's windy, and that wind chill does make a big difference. But from
Yeah,
from when I've heard, there's people getting snow. Like, like you got snow? What?
yeah.
I thought
Now
someone.
I just had the alert just came through my. Go ahead, press play.
Yeah. So before I hit play, I asked them. I talked to someone today who's in Canada, and they got snow. Someone in
But
Ohio,
what
they got snow.
if we can hear us?
So we just want to make sure. I just
So
want.
let's make.
Hold on. I hear you. I mean, kind of hear you, but
Oh,
I,
I
I
can.
understand.
I didn't know you could hear me. I'm sorry.
hmm I'll hit play.
Hey, it's Marquita, and I can fine.
Okay, Marquise. She said she can hear us both just fine. Okay, we can rock it out. Thank you for that clarification there. We needed that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right.
Sam.
So let's get into the topic, Miss I Speak Live. Let's get this ball. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, okay, yeah. So everybody, welcome to the how you feel, what you like, and my good brother and friend.
Yes,
I don't
indeed.
ever want to say his name. Ink building. Our topic today is family secrets. Like he said from it just says a lie. This stem from the conversation we had 2 shows ago, I think it was, when we talked about the brother's wife on the ex husband's new boo. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. Family building. When you have these types of things, you're side dating, we have deep rooted family secrets, and I can speak. I won't generalize it. I will make it personal because I don't want to be offensive to anyone. Miss, I speak life. Family in particular. I know we've had some what do you call incest or molestation or drug use, alcoholism. Not just that though. We've had some success too. We have some really powerful houses and some successful folks and highly connected folks and political powers and things like that in the family line as well. But we don't really talk about it. And I mentioned the good and the bad because we don't talk about either one of them. And it's crazy because those that are successful, they don't want you to know who they are. Just like just like those that are low down, dirty, shamed. So at some point you just gotta be honest and just say it's a lie. It's not even, at some point you just start I mean, it becomes where you're just lying about a secret, you know. So that was my take on it. I know we have it in my family. And I'm interested to see where this conversation goes as we talk about the family secrets. How about you, twin?
All right. Okay. Not sure where it's gonna go, but it's gonna go somewhere today. I know that for a fact. Here we go. So where do you want to start at, young lady?
I mean, we could just share like what when you heard the topic, where did it settle on you? Have you experienced family secrets? And not necessarily. I don't know if it has to be. I know for me, it's not all negative ones because, like I said, we have some really successful folks in my family, but they are also like a secret.
Family secrets. Well, it depends. I think, like I said, when we talked about this topic last time, it has something to do with, what I'm saying, more than likely your uncle is also your dad at the same time. So I know that's where we kind of stem from. So when I have that in my particular family, no, I don't have that type of drama. I mean, I have family secrets where family members be fighting each other. I had an aunt who bust her brother. Had an aunt who bust her brother in the head with a lamp.
Over what? What was the fight over?
I don't know what the fight was over. It's something minor.
A family secret.
It might be, but I mean, it was so bad he had to get stitches. So it wasn't just like I just smack you around. It was like, no, I put a dent in your head with this lamp. So it had to be something serious, right? But no, I mean, I don't have. I mean, like I said, it could be out there. Me personally, I kind of stay to myself. I don't really fool with the family like that. I mean, I keep close to the real ones, and they know who they are. But outside of that, I really don't know. Cause I don't fit into a lot of the gossiping within family and all that drama stuff. Like when my brother called me about, let me tell you about. Stop right there. I don't want to hear it. If it ain't making money, if everybody's healthy, they breathing. Okay, cool. Keep it moving. I don't want to hear it. What's going on with you? So, how about you? You could take it from there and see what happens.
No, I fully agree, and I think that's where I am with it. What I'm finding out, I've lost a few family members, more than a few actually, in the last month and some change, and it's almost like a family member gone each week, right?
Yeah.
With that, of course, especially because the family members that I personally lost, a good selection of them are older. They're in their 80s and things like that. So the last one to go just last weekend was my Uncle Fred, and he was, 80 some years old. He's the last sibling. My grandmother's now the last sibling alive, right? So that comes with, or what it comes with, because then when you start doing the obituaries, like, who's who.
Right. You be seeing names you
right?
never recognized before. Like, who is this?
Exactly. And I'm not saying that for my Uncle Fred, for those family members that may, hear this. I'm just speaking generally now, right? So it's instances like that where the obituary has to be done or the funeral's happening, and then you find out about a secret family that was on the other side of the tracks, or, you just don't know. Or then you're around people. Unfortunately, these are times when we all come together, and then you get that whisper, don't let the kids around such and such. Why are you whispering that? Why isn't that something that's known to all? What kind of secret is this? I'm not keeping this secret. Hello? Can we please all watch such and such? You know what I mean? Can we all be ears and eyes for such and such, so he doesn't or she doesn't get a chance to prey on any of these children or anyone's hot wife, hot kids, hot wives type of energy. So some of these things, I'm finding that people are really reluctant to letting go, or they feel a way about it. Like, you're stirring up the pot or you're stirring stuff up. And it's really, well, you guys decided to separate because of a family secret.
Right.
But the family is still growing. So what does that say to the next generation that may want to be introduced or and connected with their family members? Right? So then you have somebody like me. I have children. I want my children to know their cousins. We all come from this little area. Everybody know everybody in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid my son on his way to college, and he like, oh, look at this little cutie, and the cutie is his cousin.
Yeah, that's true there. I had a situation when I was meeting this girl, hanging out with her and stuff, went over to her crib, whatever, and we just chit chat whatever. And I looked, I'm very observative, and I saw a picture. I'm like, who that? And she said a name. Like, how you know that person? And like, oh, that's my aunt. I'm like, your aunt? I'm like, that's my grandma. I'm like, woo, I'm glad we dodged that bullet. But the point is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the situation was where the family stopped connecting with each other, right? Stop having these family reunions. So apparently something might have happened where you lose connection. I mean, more likely that's what it comes down to it. The reason why, I could tell you this, the reason why my dad kind of fell out with his family, why I didn't really get to meet all my aunts until after he passed, whatever, my uncles and all that stuff, because they had to falling out, right? The adults, my dad and his sisters and brothers had to falling out. So because they had to falling out, you know what I'm saying, that right there just kind of limit my resources of me, my dad's side of the family, right? And that's where you run into a situation where I could be running the streets, living my fast whole life, and I'm meeting girls and come to find out she my cousin, whatever, because I never met her. And thank God she had a picture up in her house. Now I know. So that's definitely a real scenario right there.
Right, and I can't imagine that. Cause, I mean, you've had that happen to a certain degree. And
right.
What do you think your mind would be able to process if you had crossed the line with that woman, and it be your cousin?
I mean, it'd have been like, oh well, it is what it is, but it's like, damn it. Listen, as long as we had,
see, I don't know.
I mean,
what it is.
Like for me, like,
and you got feelings for her though.
Oh, I mean,
I'm not talking about just to smash her down. Like, I'm not talking about that situation.
Okay.
I'm talking about you really like this girl. Y'all had
plans,
time together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you don't know, and then boom, oh, y'all cousins. What?
Yeah.
And I saw was it like I don't know if it wasn't a reel, because this was some time ago, but it was like maybe an IG video or one of those types of things, maybe a YouTube video, and the girl told the boy that they were cousins in the car. She didn't want to do it alone. She wasn't sure how he was going to react, right?
Oh, okay.
So she didn't want to just tell him.
Okay.
So she was like more live or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was a better situation or worse, but so she had to tell him that they were cousins, and for a second he was just like, okay,
like whatever, I don't care.
What is that supposed to mean? But I think it was like at first he didn't really believe her. I don't know. The verdict's still out on that part. Because at first he was still kind of accepting. Okay, he was like, okay.
I mean, you know what? It also depends. Like, if you're our family, how far away are you when it says family, right? Meaning, you're my dad's in-laws cousin. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not really family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that far away. Now, we talking about first cousins, yeah, that's a problem right there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So
you're
saying, okay, if it's a distant cousin,
yeah,
then it might be okay.
Yeah, it might be okay if we're not blood. Yeah, if we ain't blood, it might be a different story. But if we blood, no.
Oh, you mean, okay, that's not distant. You mean like non-blood.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
By marriage.
Exactly, by marriage, right? Okay. I'm only feeling with you because you married to the family, but we're not really family. You understand? Now that might be his scenario, right?
But the cousins are. So then your first cousin. So you're saying like, okay, on the dad's side, his sisters, his brothers, they have children, right?
Right.
But they're still first cousins to your first cousin.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
See, now you sound like the guy that was in that video. He was like, okay.
I'm just right.
Like, all right. So
like I said, it depends how we are really related. You know what I'm saying? If we an in-law family, like that might be different. If we didn't know, I'm saying like the guy in the situation, right? He was with the girl for a long period of time, and he was like, okay, more likely he was fully invested into this woman. And maybe he knew, maybe he didn't know, but like, okay, we're family. How? Like, at what part are we family? Like, okay, we're not really, because I have family members that have kids by the same brothers. You know what I'm saying? Not one lady, but two brothers. You know what I'm saying? Have married into the family, right? And they got kids by different family members. So okay, it depends. It just depends on the scenario. But like I said, if it's like first, second cousins, like blood, no, that's a hell to the no. But it really depends
Do
scenario.
you think
Go ahead.
you heard me?
No. Repeat that again, please.
Do you think that if we eliminate these family secrets that we're talking about, do you think these types of things can be avoided?
Of course. Of course. And sometimes it may not be secrets. It might be just family beefs, right? Over something minor or whatever, something stupid. Like, at what point are we going to be mature enough adults to get over, I know me and you may have differences, but like, okay, our kids had nothing to do with what me and you are going through. Our kids can still have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of if me and you, like, let's see, me and my twin brother, right? Let's say for some reason me and him falling out. We both have kids, right? I have a boy and a daughter. He has there's a son only. But our kids still have the opportunity to know each other. So when they get older, they can kick it and have their own life experience with each other. Even if me and my twin brother ain't that close. We are in real life, but I'm just saying for the scenario of the conversation. But if for some reason we fall out and then he pull his kid away from me, I pull my kid away from him, then later on our kids are grown, they're in college, my daughter meets this guy and she don't know that's her brother, cousin, and they boom, 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 then we have a problem. You understand what I'm saying?
So the falling out should still be discussed, right? It needs to be understood that whatever the situation, even if it is something like deep and grotesque, like molestation or, physical abuse, because you got to think, like, back then, I think a lot of families were more accustomed to, like, women being abused physically, kind of slapped into place and stuff like that. Not saying that it was accepted or it should have been, but that is a part of the history, right? We can't act like it's not.
I don't subscribe to that, but okay.
And you said what?
I said I don't subscribe to that, but okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, just like slavery, we didn't start at slavery, but it is a part of our history. I don't subscribe to being slaves or having a slave mentality.
Yeah, but slavery is something that we know that did happen. But slavery, we know for a fact it did happen. To say that every woman back in the 60s and 70s were getting beat by the husbands,
no.
That's a lie.
I'm not saying every woman at all. I'm not saying every
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't subscribe to that. So you can't compare
culture,
those two is what I'm saying. You can't compare those two, slavery and domestic abuse. You can't compare those.
Every black person, yeah, I can, because every black person doesn't come from slavery. Not all of us family members.
No, but we all can look up for a fact and know that slavery was done for 400 years. Facts.
And we can look up and see that women were physically abused for those same amounts of years.
But not all, though. But we can't say all, though.
It doesn't apply to all. It's not general. I've already made that clear. It's not a general statement that I'm making.
And that's why I say I subscribe to it, but okay.
As it pertains to the topic, throughout history and throughout the culture, this is something that we're aware of. It happens, just like family secrets. Not everyone's family secret is the same secret, but we can speak in a general terms that majority of the families have secrets. They don't get, and it could be secrets to keep the money in the family, to keep the lineage or the dynasty or empire going or whatever. But it's just one of those things. But if we don't start to talk about it, if we don't start to make some type of adjustment, I think it just continues to leave us in this space. And now the way things are set up, where you're not as physical anyway, with COVID and you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is the time where we really need to just connect and make sure that everyone knows, look, this is such and such, and this is such and this is such and such. So now you know where it starts and you kind of work your way through it. Or like I tell my kids, especially my son at 18, when you do start dating, make sure you ask questions, last names, not one name, but all names. What was her grandmama's last name? What was her grandfather's last name? What's her mama last name? Maiden last, like all of those questions, because I recently found out that I'm a part of a family and I never even heard this last name before. You know, like, wait, what? I would have, my antennas was never even set up for that last name, right? So in my dating, all right, I knew not Thomas, all right. If I find myself attracted to a Thomas, or a guy approaches me and he's a Thomas and or whatever, then I know to ask certain questions. Or you have just those two last names that you might be associated with. But you got to dig deep a little bit, because now, like I said, you're not even going to see people. So you're meeting people different ways now as well. When I think about the college experience, it's totally different now too. So, how many you think your kids, I don't know what it'll be for your kids. They're still young. But like family dinners, these things are different. You used to bring girls home. So now you're just vibing with them on apps and stuff like that. So my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, as far as taking girls home, it's like only time you do that is when you're gonna be serious with this particular lady. Everyone doesn't get to come home to see mom or grandma or whoever. And that kind of
yeah, and then you find out like, oh, that's such and such daughter.
You're like, who? Yeah, hope we don't find out that way.
Yeah, and I mean that's where I am. I know that my family again, we haven't really had like a family reunion that my immediate family has gone to since I was a little girl. So I don't know what nobody looks like. I don't know who's who, And not that it was a big issue prior to, because, I was in a relationship. But, yeah, I'm looking like, oh, snap, this applies to me. This applies to me right now. Hey, Twinsinc, we might be cousins. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
You got to find out.
But see,
Definitely got to find out.
If people wasn't having these one-nighters and quick to jump someone's bed without actually really getting to know somebody, you would not run into these problems. You understand what I'm saying? And then if you're dating somebody, like how you not ask about their childhood and where they from, just general questions. Some things sometimes might trigger. Like, oh, where you from? I'm from Pittsburgh too. Okay, we grew up at. I grew up in a small place. Like, hold up, that's where I grew up at. Do you know such and such? Oh yeah, I know them. And that's how you have a small conversation. You know what I'm saying? But we don't do that now. Now we just like swipe left, swipe right. We're gonna meet up, get something to eat, go back to my crib. So and you find out it might be your cousin, your sisters, your brothers, whatever. And actually, I don't feel bad for you, because that's the high risk you take when doing these one-nighters. I just don't feel bad for you. Not at all. Or even if I'm not even going that route. But once again, whatever comes with a one night, whatever comes with a one night stand, I don't feel bad for whatever happened, because you chose that. That is your choice. I could say I have never had a one nighter, maybe a two nighter. I'm joking, but nah. As far as every woman I know, I know them. You know what I'm saying? I can say this. I know the woman. Not just inside and out, but I know her family and friends and people who she associated with. Just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the route that some men and women need to go before they start jumping to bed with people. Because I don't care at this point now. I didn't know he was it in that. Nope. How long you know each other? Oh, just 3 days. Okay. Sip on this tea right here.
3 days, the devil. Not in this day and age.
I know.
Now with coronavirus. And I think that's like I was saying, a different thing too, because now with the virus, you're meeting people, from all different areas and, all different walks of life. And it's on the flip side of the family secret and no home too. Now you trying to figure out different ways of learning people, because you don't get to see facial expressions. You don't get to see what they're doing in real life. You just got to go with whatever they say. Ooh. You know what I mean?
You know what? And something else that
who said it? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say something. A conversation I heard yesterday. Ladies were talking about changing last names of their kids because I don't know if the father's not a picture or not, or XYZ, whatever. Hell, changing the last
Mhm.
name, that can be a big deal too. Because if your last name is different from your father's family, right, or whatever, and then you run these streets, you
Mhm.
might find out you mess around with your cousin or sister because you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you check the last names and the last name didn't check out, like most kids at a young age, if you chase a young kid's age at a young age, right? So by the time he get to 13, 15, 16, he's going to go by the new last name that he has. He's not going to talk about, oh, my last name used to be Johnson, but now it's, you know, Smith. You understand what I'm saying? So now he go by Smith.
Mhm.
My name is James Smith every day now. And later on the line, he meet this girl, so I mess with her. Come and find out, her last name was Johnson. And guess what? His last name used to be Johnson too, but he got his name switched. So that's a slippery slope
Mhm.
too. You get what I'm saying? That's a full slippery slope there too. I mean, I get it.
That's why it can't be a secret. Like we can't leave these things in the dark. I
Mhm.
think that's where we messed up. We just gotta have those hard conversations, which we talked about with our children and our families, and whether you like them or not, whether they're in jail or not, or they're in the empire or in a high position, paying position or something like that,
Mhm.
you still should be aware of them. You should know who they are.
Facts.
I think that you should definitely know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you saying, and then even with the conversation, I was part of it for a minute, where you know, majority they were saying like their children doesn't have their father's last name, because it could prevent them from moving the way they want to move, like with passport, etc., etc. But with that, as long as they're having the conversation with their children and the children knows the
Right.
last name,
Right.
then okay,
Right. Right. That
okay.
makes sense. But let's be honest, they're not having that conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a buck.
That's
They're not having that conversation. See, if you had a conversation, it'd be a different story. They're not having this conversation. And then growing up around these streets and then, hopefully, get a quarter, flip it, heads or tails, and might get lucky. You never know. Russian roulette. But these are, what I'm saying, accountabilities, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. And it's not just the people who has
yeah.
conversations yesterday. I know people outside that conversation we had that does this. You know what I'm saying? I know ladies out there prior to the people that we
Mhm.
know. I know ladies right now who choose not to have any type of relationship with her or with her baby daddies or her child or kids, their friend or family
Her
because
kid's
she met
father.
him, kid father. There we go. And I know females who's like, because her and her kid's father don't get along, she makes sure one, he barely get to see his child. So number two, that means that kid don't get to
Mhm.
meet his dad's side of the family. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time they're good
Yeah.
at 18, they already have a bad relationship. And that's how things happen.
Yeah.
I think people take
I
their
don't like
emotions into
I don't
everything.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little hit. That part frustrates me. The fact that we could even say that. So, that frustrates. I'm still working on it where we could have that discussion, right? Because we still haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
Where we could have that discussion and not be, hyper emotional or frustrated, because it's not something that should be at all. Just like we talk about and not to veer off too far, but like we talk about the police violence, right? And the fact we couldn't go 5 hours. We only went 5 hours, and here it is, another life gone by the hands of a white police officer. We talk about those things and we, get frustrated, but it's the same for me. It'll have that same energy. Like, I don't want to be hyper emotional about it, but you shouldn't use that. That's like to me, it's like the same. In a sense, like you're using this child against a person and not really acknowledging the damage you're doing to the child. You know, so.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go that route.
Yeah. Those are
I
long
mean,
lasting
in the
things.
same sense, these family secrets do damage to your children because one, you take away their village, right? Their village, not your village. I'm not talking about the other adults to watch kids for you. I'm talking about the village for the child, their support system, their first friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what cousins are, right? They're the ones your first diary, your you know, that's what they're supposed to have. Their village, and you take their village, and you think that your village is enough,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. Your village is created of adults who think they know better, who think they know everything. Honestly,
Yeah, the
that's
entitled
another
part.
conversation for another day.
It's the
Another
entitled.
conversation for another day. So, but the kids need their village as well, and that's another thing. Make sure they have their support system and their family line, and then they know who's who, and they don't fall into those gray spaces where they could fall in love with or slip up and just be immature and reckless with or whatever. Because it's not on just them to take accountability. It's them. Nobody,
They didn't know.
depending on how well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to keep somebody accountable for something that they didn't know about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They
'Cause-
didn't even know to know. That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Because they can ask all the
'Cause when we
questions.
talk about the birth certificate, the name change thing, like how would they even know to ask something like that?
Right. Right. My point exactly. Hell, like at what age did you at what age do you really learn about birth certificate? Like I knew about Social Security card, but a birth certificate, I didn't really know about a birth certificate until it came to get my license, I believe. So 15 years old, something like that. Somewhere where I needed it
Yeah.
for some proof of ID. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
So with that being said, for the first 15 years, I don't know whose name was on my birth certificate, right? I can only assume my mom and my dad, right? That's what I can assume, right? But until you get it printed out, then you get to see, oh, this is the name on my birth certificate. So you understand what I'm saying? So I just use that as an example.
And it's important. Like in my case, right? Here's the funny for me. Like my mom, my dad, they're married, so my mom goes by her marriage name, right? She didn't do a hyphenated name or anything like that. And all of the other children have my dad's last name except for me.
Wow.
And I'm the first kid. And I'm like, well,
Right.
and I was planned. I was a planned child, and and all of that. And
Right.
I still don't know what the heck went down, but it wasn't anything crazy. I think my dad just was working. He was a carpenter. Well, he's a carpenter still, but I think he got stuck at the job, and it was like the last day, and then they just never went back and
Updated.
fixed it. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So for me, I've only focused on, or not even focused because it's not even something I was thinking about focusing on, but I was only aware of 3 last names, which was my mom's maiden name and my dad's last name. What I didn't consider is my mom's mother's last name because my mom has her father's last name. So what's my grandmom's name? I didn't even think, what is my grandmother's maiden name? Or, you know what I mean? Because my grandmom had her husband's last name.
Facts.
So I knew my grandmother's last name, but it was my grandmother's husband's last name. And I knew my mom's last name, but it was my mom's father's last name. So I didn't find out that that my grandmother's last name is what it is until like 3 years ago. And then didn't find out her mother's maiden name until about a week or so.
See? And not to give you an exact age, but what age range are you currently at right now?
Yeah, I'm about to be 38.
So
This is crazy.
38 years being alive, she found out 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, people.
Not even a whole 2 weeks
Okay,
ago.
a week ago, I mean.
Literally last week.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And listen, and this is, like I said, listen, my grandmother, right, on my dad's side, she had 10 kids, right? All 10 kids had the same last name, Harrington, but they had 3 different daddies. Like, groups of them had different dads, but they all had the same last name.
How?
That's what she did. She came by the same last name. And I think back in the days, and I want to say it's like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, whatever, I guess you got more support from the system, same last name, whatever. I don't know. But all my family members got different last, well, they all had different Not all had different names. It's like I said, I had 10 of them and 3 on this group. So there's 4 over there, 2 over there, 1 over there. But everyone didn't have the same dad. But everybody had the same last name. So
now, how do you make that decision? That is a different. And you know what? It's probably been made more times than not.
Oh yeah. So then, for me personally, going back and doing my family tree, you know how hard that is to trying to find out my roots. You understand? Like going back to find out where my people, the nationality, all that stuff. If everybody, it's like, well, no, you don't have the same dad as your brothers. Wait, as your uncles. Like, oh, what you mean we got the same dad? Nah, grandma did this. I'm like, wow. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then you got to try to figure, man. And then you know what? Because it was done like that, that is the secret right now. Nobody wants to talk about it. Here you are trying to just figure stuff out for yourself. You want to feel like you know where you come from.
Facts.
It could be your own personal reason. It should not even have to be explained all the way, right? Because it just makes sense to know. But these people will be frustrated and aggravated and, oh, you stirring up stuff. Look, because you chose not to associate yourself with these people, that has nothing to do with me. Now, because I choose to associate with people that I'm related to, right, these things are coming up. And now I got to come back to you. Well, who is such and such?
Facts.
Because I don't know. They're saying this and this. Well, I don't know. I don't want to get involved in that. I don't have nothing to do with that. You have everything to do with that. You're the culprit. You're the grandmother. You're the matriarch. They call these people. So you want to let us know what's up.
Yeah.
For those of us that want to know, and I'm not saying just I'm not saying that you have to force people to have a desire to be, in relationship with family members they don't really know. Air quotes, don't really know. That's not what I'm saying. But it's not fair to deprive those that want to know and, desire a relationship, or to shame them, or to, kind of make them feel like they're doing too much because they want what's regular or what should be regular.
Right. It should be regular, right? Everyone should be able to do it, go back and do the family tree to find out where they come from. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if my family bloodline is slaves. You know what I'm saying? If I were actually part of being a slave, or was my people the house ninja? You know what I'm saying? I want to know. I just want to know. It ain't gonna change nothing, right? I just want to know, right?
Right.
Like that's something I feel I should be able to look up and find the history on.
But
you know what I'm saying?
You might be surprised. It may change things for you. Because there's an unspoken thing that we take on when we just accept the fact that we all came from slavery. Like everybody felt that way, right?
Right.
There's something that people take on with that. And I don't know if you could say that it wouldn't change anything if you found out that no, none of your family line was ever slaves. They were all this type of people.
Right.
Or versus, like village people or royalty or what have you, and they've not ever been a slave. Do you feel like, I'm just, and this is Miss I Speak Life just using her imagination because it's just sparked up in this conversation. You guys know that these conversations on The Real Deal versus How You Feel are organic, right? They're not scripted.
Not at all.
So, with that thought, right, how would you feel? Would you feel like your black heart is revoked? Would you feel disconnected to the whole struggle, per se?
No, not at all.
Because there's something.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you. Well, yeah, you can go ahead and answer. I guess I was just throwing it out there, like these different thoughts. Like,
yeah, I'm with you. No. Me personally, like, I wouldn't feel no type of way. I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? If I was part of the slave,
right,
or I was conceived by another race. You know what I'm saying? Because the black gene is the most dominant gene. You know what I'm saying? You can mix white and black, you get black. You mix black and green, yellow, blue, whatever color the person is. Our gene it'll still come out. The baby's gonna be black. I don't care how you mix it up, right? So I just want to know. Just want to know. It's not gonna change anything because at the end of the day, I'm still black. I can go outside and get shot right now because I'm black, right? They're not gonna say, "Oh, Mr. Harrington, I can just looking at you. You have a little bit of Caucasian in you, man. You might get a pass." No, I will not get a pass. I will get shot dead in the street. Simple as that. So no, it would not change a goddamn thing for me personally, right? Some people it may, right? Because some people are like, I'm blacker than black because I'm black, y'all. I'm black, right? They all the way in.
Some black is black. Like you find out, oh, my family was the ones who this was really built on their back. Like
Right.
I'm blackity black. You know?
Now, mind you,
Like,
okay. I might have a little more oomph to it if I found out I was, you know what I'm saying, my family was slave, right? Like, yeah, I built this country. I can really say that and really mean it. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of assuming that I did, right? If that makes sense. But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
you
feel more attached to the struggle.
Yeah, I'm more
or a little bit detached from the struggle. Like, oh dang, I was right. Oh dang. Okay.
Right. I mean, I'd be
all
right. Dang, like, dang, man, I was one of really. Really?
I thought I was wearing McLeod Bethune's knee.
Right. Dang.
So I was her distant knee. You mean to tell me I was a white woman across the street? Like,
listen, man. Listen. If
anyway.
Listen. If y'all do a little bit of history, right? I used to know about heart, but let's just say they took over 100 million slaves, right, from Africa. I don't know the exact number, but I used to know about heart. But let's say they took 100 million Africans from Africa, right? But guess what? Only 1 million made it. Now, the number, this actual number like I can't remember what it is. I'll look it up later on. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, there was a big number of Africans taken from South Africa, or Africa, period, but only like 2% made it to America. What happened to the rest? I know
Does that mean they died?
Yeah, all that. Yeah, they dived, they jumped out the boat. They, you know what I'm saying? All that, like, yeah, all that. A lot of us didn't make it. We didn't make it.
But we don't know if all of them died when they jumped off the boat. We don't know if they all lunched to their death. Some of them may have survived the jump.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this.
You know how I saw a movie. I can't even quote the name of the movie, but I saw a movie. Or what? Wait. Let me make sure. So this is like two different things in my head. I know for sure it happened on the show Walking Dead. So, but then, Harriet Tubman. What I'm talking about? It happened for real. Harriet Tubman and on The Walking Dead, they have where, these strenuous things, these crazy situations happen. But in the Harriet Tubman movie, she was the one that actually made it across she made it across the water. It was a field. Like she had to walk like however far. And when she ran into like trouble or whatever, ways of escape happened for her. But it wasn't like she did it herself. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. So we know that there, in situations like that, there are some people that made it through the cracks. And that's even once they got over here. But on certain situations, like I said, like on Walking Dead for sure, when the girl fell over the bridge, right? They just automatically assumed because of the type of fall it was, and how deep and how dangerous the water itself was. She was dead, but she wasn't dead. Like it took a couple shows for her to be alive again. Somewhere down the shore. But yeah, she wasn't dead. So, do we know if any of them lunged to safety and not necessarily their death?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, think about it. We have, when you research the African gene and whatever, it goes all over. We have roots in China. We have roots all over the world. Trust me. Everybody just didn't come to America only. You understand what I'm saying? We've been spread out all over the world. But I'll try and post information up here. But they say about 15% didn't make. I'm trying to get the exact number. I used to know about heart. But yeah. But yes. Say that again.
All right. I think my phone I'm sorry. I had my phone on the dash. I think it's getting a little hot. But the second end of this conversation, because as we prepare to start, wrapping it up, was as I think about family secrets, right? And understanding that ultimately they just become a lie. Your family secret becomes someone else's lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now they're forced to do what? Keep your secret, which may cause them to have to lie. I thought about now, what kind of secret do I have any? myself, that would prevent my children, the same thing we're talking about, taking accountability, right? That's what we do. So I put myself in the position to take accountability, and I'm questioning myself like, okay, what would be considered a family secret? And I was like, I don't know what a family secret would be for me. And then I was like, well, as I thought, I was like, I don't think I have a family secret. But then I realized, wait a minute, I got a ton of family secrets.
Right. When you think about it.
Right. I thought about that, and I was like, wait a minute, I am now doing the very thing that I don't want to be done. I don't think it should be done. I think it should not be done. And it's like the family secrets. That's my story, and I'm not talking about telling someone else's story. And that's not what I'm talking about. My story. There's secrets there. There are things that we just don't talk about. And I'm not saying that these things need to be talked about every time you see somebody.
Right.
Every time you see them, this is what they want to talk about. You know what I mean? That's not it. But what I'm saying is we need historians, basically. We need people in our families that know the story, that can tell the story, that can write the story. We need, the matriarchs to tell the story, sit the people in a, how we saw on the Tyler Perry movie, the one movie.
Right.
That, that one scene in the movie where Black was beautiful, because most of his movies be a little different, but
a little special. They
be a little different. But the one scene where Cicely Tyson, God rest her beautiful soul, and Maya Angelou, right? Wasn't that her in his movie?
I'm not sure.
God bless her soul.
I know you're talking about.
If I'm hoping that I'm naming it right. And the girl was getting married to a man, but basically marrying the man because he had money, and that's the man her mom was encouraging her to marry. So it had all of the family dysfunction in the movie, like they all do. But I don't want to get distracted by that. The beautiful scene when the point that I'm making is when the older generation set them in one space, and the family, all of the generations, crowded around them while they spoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I'm saying. It's not where we all have to have these little sidebar conversations, and every time you see this person, it's the same thing they're talking about. You know what I mean? Because it's like, no one else is aware, or, maybe they don't feel comfortable holding secrets or whatever the case is. But we need to get back to that type of energy. And I'm saying back just because I saw it on screen, right? I've not ever had it in real life, but this is part of what I'm saying, because the cycle has already started for the secrets. So that's where I'm already in that cycle. But where they used to sit the kids and the kids down, and they tell them certain family stories and struggles and recipes and those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's not a secret. We all know, but we all found out in love, and we're all there to support each other through it. Yeah. So that's where I ended for my thought, and I said, well, with my family secrets, that's what I'll do with my children, right? Because it starts with me and mine. I can't make a person subscribe to me wanting to get to, do something that I've never experienced. Meaning my parents haven't done it, their parents haven't done it, so, but it's not something that's like, aha, because this is something that has been done before. We just haven't done it in our family. So I decided to start with my family. I definitely did. I said, well, this is how we're going to do this. And, just started writing certain things down, and having certain conversations with them about, the history as I know it and as I learned. So, yeah, that's the other end of it, taking accountability or putting yourself in that situation or in the shoes of those folks whose secrets we're now carrying and lying about.
or just not knowing about, you know.
Right.
Not,
That part.
you live in a lie. You don't even know it. You live in a lie. Not by it's not your choice. You're not choosing it. It's just that because the information wasn't given to you. You know.
That part.
You know, you someone didn't they didn't give you the opportunity to you know. I would say just know the information. You know, because you can't make a decision that someone's made before you were even born. Right? There's nothing I can do about that. Whatever my family did prior to me being alive, there was nothing I could do about that. Right? Not at all. But now I'm here. Now I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? Now I can only, as far as breaking the cycle, well, I can't break it, but I can start it now, right? At least from my point, my
Right.
age right now, I can at least tie my family history to this point. You know what I'm saying? May not be the original starting part, but we're gonna start somewhere. So my kids want to know about me, right? Or uncle, great Twinsinc, right? They could look me up online, but we'll have that information available that I'm gonna make sure that my party keep it together, right? So it can pass it down, so the kids
Mhm.
can know their history. You know what I'm saying? Who know who the mom, the grandmas, just know where they come from. Because I can go and do a
Right.
DNA test right now, but that's not gonna really tell me much, right? I mean, it may help. I
Mhm.
think it helped my mom out. My mom, she didn't know who her biological dad was. She took the test and she was able to get a close match, and she was able to meet her uncles because her dad was actually dead by the time she was able to get to meet him, right? But she was still able to meet her her dad's side of the family.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they live right in the
Yeah.
Carolinas. I want to say South Carolina, North Carolina, either way. I think South. So they're about like 5-6 hours from here. So I think next time my mom do a trip down here, I'm gonna go meet my side of the family in the Carolinas. But they have different last name. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the same last name my mom's main last name is. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
My mom's main last name
Right.
is the name of her brother's dad. You understand what I'm saying? So both my parents, both my mom and dad, have last names of people that are not their biological parent. Let that marinate for a second. All right, second's over.
Ah.
Right, all that. This, you know what I'm saying? So, oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and what do you do, right? So that's why I said, you know what, when this topic, when I, how I'll ponder on it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I pondered it. I was like, oh no, I can't call myself a cycle breaker,
No.
an executor, or any of that if I don't take this one on. I got to take it head on because
we
we
have.
have
Go ahead.
in my family, we know of family members, but there's like, if your family was the lunchroom, right? And we all know how the lunchroom, we all know how the lunchroom go, right?
Right.
You got the nerd table, you got the bad boy table, you got the jock table, you got the cheerleader table, you got the cool kids table,
Mm-hmm.
you got the gambling table. Depending on where you come up, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but it's definitely differences in where gate fellowship in the lunchroom. So that's how it is with the family, with all families. So you come to like a funeral or a party, and it's just like you got to go visit the tables. Like you got to go visit the cool kids table.
Right.
Then you got to go and visit, and that's where I find me. That is the example that I am. Like, I was continually in high school, which kind of makes a lot of sense. Actually, makes a ton of sense. But that's how I find my family. Like, I can go and I'll be vibing with this part of the family, same side. This ain't different sides, twin. We're talking one side. Okay? One side at a time.
Mm.
Okay? Now I can vibe with this part of this one side of the family, or I can go and vibe with this part of this one side of the family, or go on this, it's one side of the family though. Still one side. So that lets you know how secrets can divide a family. If you could be divided and y'all all share the same last name, then you could just imagine how divided you be if you have multiple lives, you know, that's not being discussed and stuff. And maybe that's a part of it when, you know, when you think back about like how you just mentioned, um, some of the children just having the last name to keep the secret, you know, nobody wants to be embarrassed or, you know, whatever the variable of cases could have been, you know, in some more awesome, I mean, in some more awful situations, like when the father may have molested the daughter and they have a kid, or
Right.
you know, all types of craziness, you
Craziness.
know. So that could be the very reason why we live in like that's why this is my story, because those things took place possibly, allegedly, like we like to say on another platform. A good friend of ours, Tony the Tiger, that's one of his words, allegedly. Um, that may be the very reason why this is my experience, my family experience. That you know we're we're divided on segregated, and it's one side of the family. So yeah, I'm definitely stepping up to the plate. So like, all right, well I'm gonna just make sure that ain't no family secrets over here.
Right. I mean,
You know.
that's one way. That's one right there for your point and our point that we can break the cycle and start a new one. And it's like, hey, it's gonna start here. You know, we can't speak on what happened prior to us, but right here, here's everything's laid out on the table, so you know who's who, what's what, and it's what it is. So you don't have to worry about in the future
Right.
being confused about something, right? Because you know what the crazy thing is, you
Right.
know, I didn't really care about looking to my past, to my roots until you have kids, right? When you have kids, your kids will ask you questions about certain things. You're like, I don't know. Let me ask some family members who's still alive. And then once you start asking those questions, it's like you going down a rabbit hole with your own family. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? That's like the rabbit hole. Go on the internet, start searching about flat Earth and everything else. The rabbit hole is wide and it's so big, it's so deep.
This guy said flat.
But I
Oh
shouldn't.
my
But listen,
god.
I shouldn't have that problem with my own family though. I shouldn't have a question. I should have a question get answered right away. Not open a Pandora's box in my own family history. How does that work?
Right, because then when you ask for, oh, you stirring up stuff. Wow. Wait a
Right?
minute.
Like we mean
I
stir
just
up.
want to know who cousin such and such. Wait, I didn't even know we wasn't supposed to know. Like,
Listen,
wait,
listen. I asked my
because you
uncle
didn't
about
talk to
something.
me about it on no end.
Listen. I asked one.
You said what?
I asked one of my uncles a question, and before he even said anything, he took a long sigh, like, "Whew. All right, nephew." It's like, oh man, this is not. Are you? He's like, are you ready to hear this? I'm like, what? What do you mean ready to hear this? Yes, I'm ready to hear it, but
Right, like,
that that wasn't what I was expecting.
I don't know. And I think that's the last part of it, right? In
Right.
terms of this, is the accountability and responsibility of the information. You know what I'm saying? So that was the last part for me. So I did decide I'm going to take I'm taking on not having the family secrets. You know, I'm going to break the cycle. But then I also had to think about it, you know, because you got to take accountability and responsibility because your words and what you do affects other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as it pertains to secrets, my decisions, right? I don't have to keep secrets. I don't have to, you know, but I don't have to keep them a secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's where I'm going with it. But because I may not have an issue with sharing, or I may not be ashamed of it, does that mean that that won't affect my children? Does that mean they want people to know that they're associated with something like this
Mm.
or that? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, at that point, I understood how the family secrets are developed, and you know, I even thought as to what levels of acceptance I have with certain secrets and that's really just positive level as well. Like, you know, we probably got family members that are, you know, very well off, but they only keep it in the immediate family because the certain types of family members and how they fight for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
now everybody want to be begging or whatever the case is. So I thought about it on all of these different spectrums because that's what Ms. I see what I do. I ponder. And I come to the same conclusion that ends with me, accountability and responsibility, knowledge that I possess and what I enter falls on. So that means our conversations prior to dissemination for preparation, not for authorization. Come on through words. All right, anyway. Not for me to get the authorization from a person to tell my own stories, my own truth, my own experiences, but for me to prepare them for the exposure and the dissemination of my stories because they're a part of it or it may affect them. So here's an example that has nothing to do with Ms. I Speak Life, but so that you can have a full understanding of what I'm saying. A daughter is molested by her biological father. That daughter wants to tell her story. Her biological father is a well-known councilman or a mayor or a what do you call it? A pastor or a educator or any of these titles that are, you know, a part of the community, like, you know, well known in the community, period, right? But she wants to tell her story. What if she just goes and tell it? That could be damaging, right?
Very damaging. But
I didn't want to be damaging. So what I said was, with that same analogy, did she take the accountability and the responsibility to prepare those included and immediately affected by it? And then dissemination. You know, go ahead and write your book or go on that television show and tell your story or whatever else, you know, because you have to be, that's yours. You can't, you know, and it's not for them to give you the green light or not. That's not their role. That's not their right to do that. That's your right if you want to share your story. So that's where you know, and then like I said, I settled on that. I settled on it that way, but it did bring me full circle to understand how secrets start, right? And why they last so long. Because no one wants to take the accountability or responsibility for the information and its dissemination. I'm Ms. I Speak Life on fair now.
Listen, I have nothing to follow up or add to that. It's a fact, though. I mean, these are real life scenarios and secrets that people have out there, and people are selfish and just want to care about self, and they don't think about the long lasting. I'm not gonna say pain long lasting pain or hurt, however way it may be. The implications that it does matter. You know what I'm saying? You think it doesn't matter. It does matter because someone in the future going to know their history or know X, Y, Z, and they won't have the information or resources to know, right? It's kind of like how with slavery is. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to wipe it out the books. You know what I'm saying? At one point, in the future, kids won't even know that was slavery, right? Because they're trying to erase it, but they want to keep everything else. You understand what I'm saying? They want to wipe out slavery, but keep everything else. That doesn't make any sense. And these young people don't know.
Right. Keep all of what it produced. America, by the way, and then not even give any recognition, not even credit or honor, because they already don't do that. They invented everything, but at least acknowledge that we were here. It was our backstart, whatever. So, yeah. That's where I settled, twin.
Yep.
That's where I settled on it.
Appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in today to The Real Deal versus How You Feel. This is a very good, healthy topic today, and just letting you know that secrets do matter. You know what I'm saying? Don't use it as a lie. It's a fact. And if you have any questions, if you have a topic you want to discuss, reach out to us at The Real Deal versus How You Feel at Gmail. You can also follow us on IG at The Real Deal versus How You Feel as well. Even on YouTube as well. The Real Deal versus How You Feel at YouTube as well.
Right.
So we'll be back Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, normal time. Today I had some meetings today, things going on, so that's why the show got pushed back an hour. But thanks for everybody who tuned in today, and nobody chimed in, but people were listening, and we appreciate you.
Right, right. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And this has been, like Twin said, a really good topic. I know for me, it's something that I just decided to break the cycle. So something I'm going to be working on and working at from here on. And just know that when you create a family secret, you burden someone else to keep alive, or to tell a lie. So, think about that. I think, Twin, you just said it, being selfish and or whatever, because that's really what it boils down to. So hopefully you guys got something from what we talked about. It's always a good show, bro. So I appreciate you. And till Friday.
We out. Bye.
All right. Bye.